Hello, Froggy here, and I'll be showing you how to get a 6-man fire team on Dreaming City and Europa. Naturally, we'll be starting off within the raid, but we won't be staying there for long. In Deepstone Crypt, you'll want to head out to the right after you join. If you go a little bit here, you'll find that Bungie has placed some barriers to get in our way. Luckily for us, they're not too hard to bypass. The first way I did this was just Sparrow flying upwards. Just go right over the top. Nice and easy. If you don't Sparrow fly, stasis grenades also stick to the side of this thing, so you can plant them and climb right on up. Thanks to Squirrely, who was the first person to show me that Deepstone Crypt could get you into public instanced areas. And there you go, just a simple bit of ice climbing. If you don't have Salvation Script, you can use an advanced technique that I like to call jumping. This nice handy rock has all these little ledges that you can jump over, and you can go right over the top of the barrier this way. You don't have to have your full fire team do that. One person is enough. However, getting the others to join you might be a little bit tricky. You might need to go all the way back to Beyond, which is a privately instanced area. But you can see that I do in fact see someone in patrol here. And a public event during a raid. One interesting thing to note is that the campaign mission that gives you a tank, Reforging the Past, also lets you into public areas.
Clovis, we're almost to you.
Any slower and there will be no me left to protect. The Vex gather en masse at the facility entrance.
We're doing what we can.
Allow my assistance then. There's an old maintenance tank outside. Acquire it. Demolish those monstrosities.
You can't launch any flag-based activities when you're in the raid, since you're already in an activity.
This must be the tank.
But you could, theoretically, meet up with them while you have a tank if you manage to instance match. Instead of bringing the tank to save Clovis, I'm sure he'll be fine. Just bring the tank over to Varix instead. I can see all sorts of random guardians here. If you manage to instance match with your little helpers in the raid, you'd be able to deliver each of them a tank, and then cruise around Europa with a 6-man fire team of tanks. And who doesn't want that? Onwards to Last Wish. You may have seen this in my previous video, but there's a nice little intangible wall we can go to here. And instead of using this to continue into the raid from patrol, we're going to use it to continue into patrol from the raid. For this, we're basically just going back to Rhea Silvia. You don't need to sword fly here, but I'm doing it just for convenience so I don't set a spawn point in Rhea Silvia. I just jump over here, spawn in, and die. This'll put you back up top on the map. So, what all can you do with this? We can actually load into Blind Well. And if we do that, we'll be in a fully public instance. This means that you can get a 6-man fire team in there without having to go through the hassle of instance matching. I'm sure a few years ago this would have been very helpful. You can even have other people in there as well, so have some fun with that. If you get in this way, you're probably going to have some difficulties if you try to leave. The barrier that prevents you from getting into Blindwell also prevents you from getting out. You can't see it too clearly from this side, but it's definitely there. You could also, if you really wanted, take a detour back up to Kalli, using your favorite method to climb up this way. I like zigzagging Code of the Missile, gaining more height and less ground. And as you can see, Kalli is here. And at some point I'm going to have to see where that Oracle ding is coming from. But once again, we're in No Darkness Kalli. But we already know how that goes. So what is Patrol like? Perhaps a bit quiet. You'll notice there are no ads around. And that you can't pull out of Sparrow. So basically, it's like Mercury, but bigger! And 0 fast travel points, since you can't use those in the raid. I'm just going to head back into Devolian Mists and show why you can't just walk here. If you've happened to try, you would have noticed that you start getting a turn back. And if you manage to get really far, you'd have noticed that they added these invisible walls to block off the rest of the map. Of course, really that just means we have to try slightly harder. It's very peaceful here without any ads or any players or any Petras. Not even getting any background music. Just the howling emptiness. Alright, we can speed it up now. I just wanted to give you a sense of just how empty the patrol area feels. Speaking of patrols, you won't be doing any of those. You're already in activity, so you can't launch any. Not to mention the Corsairs are nowhere to be found either. Which I guess means no more being shocked by the sudden, hello there. The first time I did this, I was wandering around for probably 20-30 minutes without seeing a single ad. And then, just to see what would happen, I wandered into the Lost Sector. This one is nice and quiet at the start. But I got quite the shock when ads started firing at me. It turns out you can definitely run Lost Sectors. With 6 Guardians, it is even more straightforward than it normally would be. And stick around for the end and I'll have a couple of examples of those runs. Since there are no public events, I decided to check up on the good old Strand diving board. For those of you who don't know, if you drop down below the map in the Strand, there is a teleporter that will send you out of the box. This is what's used to end the heroic public event and send you back up to your relative location. But if you drop from above, it normally lets you do funny things. However, in this case, we don't need to worry about it at all, because there are no public vents, there is no teleporter. Which means that we can just walk around normally here. We don't have to be on our Sparrow, we don't have to wait for a public event. Just free exploration. Hello, smoke monster thing. Some of my buddies messing around. There are barriers that prevent you from going too far in different directions, and I haven't yet found a way to drop down into the heroic public event there. But you can go over to some of the side islands. Normally that would be pretty difficult, because you'd have to do it with either infinite sparrow flying, or in the narrow window of time between when the event goes heroic and when people clear it. I don't remember if we ever used this area for anything. Maybe back at the beginning of Forsaken? It was definitely not something you would visit repeatedly, though. I did run into this nice little thing where if you go far enough in this direction, you don't have the lighting effect anymore.
Guardian down.
So that was kind of cool. I was hoping that would mean I'd be able to drop down to that heroic public event area, but it didn't work. Maybe a warlock using Blink could get through that, but I'll have to test that on another day. In the meantime, just seeing what rocks are what around here. And enjoying this lighting change. Always fun to play on the borders of those. I also tried dropping down into some of the Ascendant Challenges, and those look just about the same as they do from regular Patrol. Unfortunately, the current active Ascendant Challenge is Bay of Drowned Wishes, which is the bane of my existence and pretty much triply impossible right now. Can't get into the Lost Sector. If you could, you wouldn't have time to get outside of it. And if you could, we don't know a drop point. Have to wait till next week to check. For the sake of completion, let's see the other end of Devoid Mists. As before, if we head in this direction, we quickly run into a wall. And there'd be the same turnback timer on the other side. If we head through the confluence and approach from the spine of Carries, the situation is much worse. As soon as we enter, we get a turn back. And we do seem to be on the other side of the wall. However, our default spawn is right here. And it's pretty hard to get out of there with 4 seconds. And that brings up a challenge. With some of the new skating techniques, it should be possible to hit the spine of Carries within those seconds. An alternative way to do this.
Of 1,000 voices, architect of this city, return to us for the sake of plans to come.
If you do the Queenswalk Instaclear cheese, you end up being sent back to Devoid Mists by Spine of Carries.
It is done. We will meet you on the other side.
I don't think it quite means the other side that we're about to be sent to.
I thought they'd never leave. You and I are not done. We're inseparable now. Through your actions, we've forged an age.
At first, I thought this was going to be the only way into Patrol. Luckily, I was wrong. You only get one shot at escaping here, so it is definitely rather tricky. I will be very impressed if anyone manages to get to patrol this way. So if you're feeling insane, give it a shot. In the meantime, I'll leave you with some nice, relaxing 6-man Lost Sector clears. Let me know if you're able to complete either of those 2 challenges. The 6-man Europa Tank Patrol, or the Post-Last Wish Patrol.
Alright, hold up. We got stack here, and then just stand in front of the back.
Alright, hold on. I'm trying to come join you.
Oh, we probably have enough stasis grenades to just like lock you out forever.
Oh, whoa! Magic, hero! You just walk straight through.
Oh yeah.
Possible. Well, Bach won't get through. He may be a titan, but
There's no way he can get through this
You ready for me?
solid wall.
Hold on a sec.
Are you gonna bowl us over with your Sparrow?
pull them off.
Watch out. Oh shit.
I always thought that was a Sparrow. I just realized it's a robot arm.
Oh, that's
Wait,
like
you didn't
stuck in
realize there's
there.
a robot arm
Yeah.
in the wall. A sparrow.
It looks like a Sparrow, one of the forked ones.
Hey guys, I wonder if anyone else
Oh,
has
the lag is
6-man
real.
this Lost Sector before.
Probably not.
What an afterlock that feels like.
Do this bastard.
I know, it's so sad that there's none on the ED on the cause. Of the fucking Europa. They're all
Wait.
in the
I
cause.
want to save my Sparrow. We'll see you guys.
Oh my god, guys, there's circles with filled dots and clear circles in the sites. It
What
means
do they
something.
mean?
What do they
What
mean?
does it all
Wish
mean?
15 confirmed.
It's all connected.
I'll tell you, it's all connected. Alright.
It's all connected.
And I'm dead.
Oh,
Always has
that
been.
block. What happened?
How's that Sparrow working out?
Oh, that sparrow.
The Sparrow's great. I was trying to Sparrow breach through a door. Didn't
Oh.
work.
No.
Alright.
And
I don't know, if you could like just go out a map to the end of a Lost Sector, it would just be too easy. Proceeds to 6-man Lost
I was
Sector.
gonna say, like,
Just give us congrats on the day 1 raid clear too.
Oh. A great guy.
So sweet.
Okay.
Break his legs.
Me and the boys acquiring a cash code.
yeah.
Me and the boys.
Guys, we got the world's first 6-man lock sector.
Yeah.
Wait, coin flip is re-enabled. We have coin flip again.
Wait, what?
Look,
When
coin
did
flip.
that happen?